Learn English through stories.
The King Who Healed. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there was a kind king and a beautiful queen. The king was not just any king, he was also a skilled doctor. The people in the kingdom loved their king, not only because he ruled wisely but because he also helped them when they were sick. In this peaceful kingdom, there was a magnificent castle where the king and queen lived. The castle was surrounded by lush gardens, colorful flowers, and singing birds. The people of the kingdom were happy and content under the rule of their loving monarchs. One sunny morning, the king was walking through the royal gardens when he heard a loud noise. He followed the sound and found a group of children playing near a big tree. One of the children, named Lily, had fallen and hurt her leg. The king rushed over to Lily and asked, "What happened, little one?" Lily replied with tears in her eyes, "I fell and hurt my leg, Your Majesty. It hurts so much." The king smiled kindly and said, "Don't worry, dear. I am not just your king, but also a doctor. Let me take a look." The king gently examined Lily's leg and, with his gentle touch, he wrapped a bandage around it. Lily's pain began to go away, and she felt much better. The other children cheered, "Hooray for the Doctor King." The news of the king's kindness and medical skills spread throughout the kingdom. People came from far and wide to see the Doctor King. He helped people with all sorts of illnesses, big and small. The queen was proud of her husband, who was not only a wise king but also a caring doctor. As the years passed, the king's skills as a doctor became renowned. People in distant lands heard of the king's abilities, and they marveled at the idea of a king who cared for his subjects in such a personal way. They began calling him the Healing King. One day, a farmer named Tom came to the castle with his ailing cow. The cow was not eating and seemed very sick. Tom was worried because he depended on the cow for his farm. The king examined the cow carefully and asked Tom, "What does your cow usually eat, my friend?" Tom explained, "She usually eats fresh green grass from the meadow, Your Majesty." The king thought for a moment and said, "I have an idea. Let's make a special remedy for your cow." The king mixed some herbs and plants, and soon he had a special medicine. He gave it to the cow, and within a few days, the cow was back to her healthy self. Tom was overjoyed and said, "Thank you, King Doctor. You've not only saved my cow but also my farm." The king and queen continued to help their people, and the kingdom thrived. The king's fame as a doctor spread far and wide, and people called him the Healing King. And so, in the kingdom of kindness and care, the king and queen ruled with love and helped their people whenever they needed it. They showed that a ruler could be not only wise but also compassionate, and that sometimes, a king could also be a doctor to heal both hearts and bodies. Years passed, and the reputation of the Doctor King continued to grow. People came to the kingdom from distant lands, seeking the king's healing touch. His wisdom and kindness were known far and wide, and people began to say that he possessed the gift of not just ruling, but also healing. One day, a messenger arrived with urgent news from a neighboring kingdom. The neighboring king had fallen ill, and his people were worried. They had heard of the healing king and pleaded for his help. The kind king couldn't ignore the suffering of his neighbors. He told his queen about the situation, and they decided to visit the ailing king. They prepared for the journey, taking their medical supplies, and left for the neighboring kingdom. On their journey, they met people from various lands who had heard about the Doctor King's amazing skills. Some were poor, some were rich, but all of them were in awe of the king's kindness and wisdom. He took the time to listen to their stories, offer comfort, and sometimes even a little medical advice. Finally, they reached the neighboring kingdom, where the ailing king awaited their arrival. The king and queen worked tirelessly, day and night, to care for the ailing king. They used their knowledge and skills to heal him and offered words of encouragement and hope. The ailing king slowly began to recover, thanks to the care and expertise of the Doctor King and the comforting presence of the queen. The neighboring king and his people were filled with gratitude, and they said, "You are not just our neighbors, you are our saviors." The king and queen returned to their own kingdom, and the news of their heroic journey spread far and wide. They had not only ruled wisely and healed the sick but had also shown the power of kindness, empathy, and selflessness. And so, in the kingdom of kindness and care, the king and queen continued to rule with love and help their people in every way they could. They taught everyone that a ruler could be not only wise but also compassionate. And sometimes, a king could also be a doctor to heal both hearts and bodies. Their legacy of love and kindness lived on for generations to come, and their kingdom prospered as a beacon of compassion and hope. The end. Vocabulary words. Kingdom, a country or territory ruled by a king or queen. Monarch, a king or queen, the ruler of a kingdom. Doctor, a person trained in medical science who diagnoses and treats illnesses. Queen, the female ruler of a kingdom, often married to a king. Castle, a large, fortified building typically associated with royalty. Garden, a piece of land where plants, flowers, and sometimes trees are cultivated for beauty or food. Children, young people, typically under the age of 18. Bandage, a strip of cloth used to cover and protect a wound. Illness, a state of being unwell or sick, a medical condition. Medicine, a substance used to treat, cure, or alleviate illnesses and health problems. Farmer, a person who cultivates the land and raises crops or livestock for a living. Cow, a domesticated bovine animal that is often raised for its milk, meat, and other products. Meadow, a field or pasture covered with grass and often wildflowers. Remedy, a solution or treatment used to relieve or cure a problem or ailment. Kindness, the quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate. Compassion, the feeling of sympathy and concern for the suffering of others. Wisdom, the ability to make sound judgments based on knowledge and experience. Neighbor, a person who lives nearby or in close proximity to you. Messenger, a person who carries messages or information from one place to another. Ailing, suffering from a physical or mental illness, in poor health. Expertise, a high level of skill or knowledge in a particular field or subject. Gratitude, the feeling of being thankful or appreciative of something. Heroic, showing great courage or bravery, especially in the face of danger or adversity. Legacy, something passed down or left behind as a result of one's actions or contributions. Prosperity, the state of being successful and financially well off. Beacon, a guiding light or signal used to mark a location or show the way. Hope, a feeling of expectation or desire for a positive outcome, often in difficult or uncertain situations. Suffering, experiencing pain or distress either physically or emotionally. Skill, the ability to do something well, often as a result of training or practice. Gift, a special talent or attribute that a person possesses.